What's going on YouTube? JT Userborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Batman issue number 110. This one's written by James Tynion the Fourth. Jorge Jimenez is the main artist on this thing. You have like Ricardo Lopez Ortiz, I believe, is doing the backup with Ghostmaker, and you have someone else doing the colors. Yeah, so this is a continuation, the whole lead up to the whole Magistrate thing, which is something we've seen in Future State. I guess I'll get some of my positives out of the way first before I kind of get into some of the negatives of this thing. Because personally, I'm feeling kind of checked out of the storyline if it's all leading to like doubling down on the whole future state thing, which was something like I wasn't too big a fan of. So like this isn't really like engaging me, and I'm just kind of like a little bit feeling kind of fatigued with the whole magistrate thing. Like there's no real mystery or intrigue to who the magistrate is. I mean, we've already seen them in future state. So all this build up to the magistrate, I'm like, I've already seen what they can do. I'm not really too into it. Like, I mean, can't we get something a little bit different? Like, kind of like keep me in suspense of something new and creative. But no, we're just going to be kind of doubling down to the whole future state thing. See, if we never got future state, then I could be a little bit intrigued and interested in what the magistrate could do. But because we've already kind of seen the future, whether it's set in stone or not, it just kind of like makes it less interesting since we kind of already know where it would inevitably go to, unless of course that's just a potential future and they're going to change things up a bit. But we'll just have to kind of wait and see in regards to that. But I guess the first positive I'll say, like the biggest pro I have for this entire issue really is Jorge Jimenez's artwork. This guy never misses when it comes to his art. I think it's absolutely spectacular, just like in every single thing that he's done. Like I loved his artwork all the way back to Super Sons. I think his work in Super Sons is still my favorite because I think it had kind of a manga like vibe to it, and just kind of the writing, all that youthful energy like injected into it. There was something really pleasant about the whole Super Sons um, run that Jorge was doing artwork on. But here it's quite good. Like the fight sequences are good. You really feel the brutality of it. Like there's some nice angles. Everything's kind of choreographed pretty well. And it's an exciting fight sequence. Like in terms of like, drawing a fight sequence, I think it's done pretty well. So artwork, spectacular. No complaints about Jorge's artwork, the character designs and everything. I think that works quite well. And even some of like the nightmarish sequences with the scarecrow, like that to me is what keeps it interesting. Like, I mean, it's the same, I guess going into the opening of this thing, like, take a guess what it is. It's the same thing we've seen like the past 5 issues. It's just Batman just being lectured to the Scarecrow about yada 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 blah blah blah. It's the same thing we've seen like 5 times in a row. But the only thing keeping it interesting is Jorge's artwork and just kind of designs. Like without that, like if this were a lesser artist, like I'd be a lot harsher on it. But his artwork shines through like the same repetitive storytelling that we've seen the past like 5 or 6 issues, however many we've done. I mean, I've kind of lost track at this point, but it's the same opening over and over again. So, with that said, let's kind of go briefly into the issue. If you haven't read it, I guess spoilers for this point onwards. So, as it opens up, take a guess. Take a guess. That's right. It's Batman. Set somewhat into the future, like after obviously his fight with Peacekeeper One. So that kills the suspense in the Peacekeeper One fight because we know Batman's gonna end up in the whole thing with Scarecrow and Fear State. I mean, you know Batman's gonna get out at some point, but the whole Fear State thing. I think this was what, like September it's supposed to come out, which tells me that next month we're gonna get the exact same opening with Scarecrow lecturing Batman about whatever it is, blah 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 blah, and he's like fear safe. Again, the artwork and the designs in that are what saves this thing for me. But I'm a little tired of the same exact opening with Batman and Scarecrow. Could we get something a little bit different? Like I would have been okay with it. It was maybe a few issues, but this just keeps going like every single time, and I'm like, can we change it up just a little bit, please? Just one change. Like because when you get the same thing over and over and over again, you start to lose interest, and that's kind of where I'm at with this thing. But yeah, so the main thing is the fight between Batman and Peacekeeper One. Christopher Nakano like activates the whole Magistrate thing. They're going after the Unsanity Collective, and they're gonna try and use lethal force on them because that's they've been given the power. And even though the Unsanity Collective tries to surrender at one point, it's still not enough. He's like, I still see lethal force. Ha 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 ha. Like I'm evil. I'm cruel. I'm sadistic. I'm an authority figure. We're a police force. Get it? Social commentary. Get it? Yeah, there you go. You're figuring it out now. But yeah, so Nakano doesn't even like listen to Renee Montoya or anything where they say it. It's like, hey, We don't really have proof of a lot of the stuff. Shouldn't we wait? He's like, no, I got to do something. I've been a completely useless character, which is kind of true. Like, even going back to the Detective Comics stuff that's going on right now, this guy Mr. Worth comes in, like, which, I'll say this, I'm liking Detective Comics more than Batman right now. Like, Nakano is a coward. Like, he completely does nothing. Like, when a criminal who blows up a police station comes in, threatens to kill somebody, like, he's like a dog with his tail tucked between his legs. This guy can come right into his office and boss him around like a little baby. I'm like, weren't you a former police officer? Shouldn't you be, like, somewhat tougher around, like, criminals that you know are criminals? But no, Christopher Nakano, like, I don't know, like, he started off kind of interesting being written, like, when Tomasi was handling him, but he's just a complete joke and a mockery of a character. I'm like, I'm just kind of done with this guy at this point. He's a joke. But yeah, so also Batman's comms go down and Barbara decides to contact members of the Bat family, which why Batman's not actively working with other members like on a regular basis. Like Tim Drake is beyond me. He really should be working with Tim like more frequently, but he doesn't seem to. He seems to be more interested in working with Harley Quinn and Ghostmaker for whatever reason. But Dick Grayson's like, okay, Batman's comms are down. There's shit going down. I'm just gonna get my ass over there. I'm not even gonna wait till things get out of hand because I know Gotham. So I thought that was kind of a nice little moment. So yeah, so they have their fight sequence. And again, the fight sequence and the artwork by Jorge is what really sets it apart. Like, and of course we know that the magistrate, like this guy, he's a bad dude. Like he committed all sorts of terrible acts at Arkham Asylum. He reminds me of like that was it the episode Lockup in Batman the Animated Series where it was that Arkham security guard who was kind of like very brutal to the patients, just trying to keep them in check. But this guy kind of takes it like one step further. So with the communications down, Oracle contacts Ghostmaker and Harley Quinn, and keep in mind Ghostmaker for the most part doesn't really answer like Oracle's calls, has just been kind of ignoring her for the most part, but just so happens that this time he conveniently answers. And in the most ridiculous moment of all, Batman strategically plants bombs all around like the location he's at as a signaling of Morse code. Keep in mind, he said no communication with Ghostmaker, and for all he knows, Ghostmaker could not be there anywhere at all. He just somehow knows that Ghostmaker is going to be at this exact location, even though the communication's down, and he's been kind of ignoring Oracle. Yeah, he just during his fight sequence he plants a bunch of bombs and detonates them, which creates some sort of Morse code, and Ghostmaker just happens to be there and catches them. It's so ridiculous. Like the amount of reach and just ridiculousness, I kind of respect it a bit. Like it's so outlandish that I had to kind of laugh when I first read it. So like I mean that's at least kind of creative. Like okay, it's so ridiculous that I kind of have to laugh at it, but at the same time like that is kind of stupid. I mean it shows Batman's like creativity, I guess, but like. I don't know, like, he just happens to know he's gonna be there for, like, detonating bombs, Morse code, like, for all we know, Ghostmaker wouldn't have been there. But yeah, so Batman gets saved, patched up, because, like, he can't really do anything anymore on his own. The Unsanity Collective gets confronted by, Peacekeeper 1, and Simon Saint is just revealed to be a full-blown villain and all that. Like, I mean, of course, Master Manipulator is like, go ahead, kill them all. He's like, I'm authorizing lethal force and all that stuff, and that's just one of those things. So we'll see where it goes from there with the whole Miracle Molly thing. Back up with Ghostmaker. He fights a Crocodile Man. That's kind of all you need to know. And yeah, I mean, I'm not interested in the whole Ghostmaker stuff right now, so you can check that out if you want. But he fights a Crocodile Man. He's still on that island. And yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Now, overall consensus. Like I said, I'm just kind of getting checked out of this thing. I don't understand why Batman's more actively working with her. I mean, part of me, like, I guess it's Batman trying to change and try new tactics now that all his money and all that's gone. He's trying to help these criminals. And, like, there's, like, Ghostmaker was trying to kill him, like, earlier on, but, like, that sense of, like, change just didn't really feel all that natural. It was never really built up so much that now he's, like, his best buddy, like, ally or whatever, unless they had like a long-term friendship, or unless Ghostmaker just does it because he likes him, which it just kind of seems that way. He's like everything he's doing is just kind of like I'm better than Batman. I got a better car. I got this. I got the haunt. I got the ghost cave or whatever it is. Like he's just trying to one-up Batman in everything, it seems. So because I think he likes him, that's just my explanation for it. So yeah, we got that going on. Harley Quinn's there too. I liked how Peacekeeper 1 was just kind of like acknowledging that, like, what are you doing, Batman? Like, you're working with all these, like, known criminals, and you're not even bringing them in at this point. So, like, who are you to like talk about me and all that stuff. So I kind of like that aspect, like him kind of calling out Batman for working with, these active criminals like Harley Quinn and, Ghostmaker and like the Unsanity Collective, instead of actually trying to bring them in, because Batman's trying to change his methods, I guess. So at least that was kind of a nice moment, and the artwork is good, and the action sequences are like well done, and there's some creative visuals. But like, it's just kind of like the whole like leading to the Magistrate thing. There's no real suspense or intrigue because we already know what the Magistrate is based on Future State. And I don't know about you, but like I'm just not into it. Like I wasn't into it when I was reading Future State, and if it's just gonna lead to that, then there's really no like excitement in this, unless that's just a potential future and they're gonna try and do something else. But we'll see kind of what happens with it. But like I'm just feeling kind of checked out of Tynion's like main Batman book. I like his Joker book more because it's more of a Gordon story, and it's kind of outside of Gotham, and it's doing things a little bit differently. But I'm just kind of burnt out on the whole Magistrate thing. I just don't find it that interesting. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on it. What did you think of it? Let me know what you thought of the issue in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video, share with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content. Be sure to hit that bell for notifications, all that other fun stuff. Are you liking this book? I don't know. I'm just feeling kind of checked out. I don't think it's truly awful, but it's just not for me right now. I'm just kind of waiting for this whole Magistrate thing to kind of blow over so we can get some really cool Batman stuff. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. All right, that's all I got to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.